If you really want to dispute collections on your credit report, it's important to understand that you have a few hacks that always work, and there's some hacks that really take a long time to actually operate. Okay, so in today's conversation, I want to give you fast-moving hacks to help you when it comes to disputing derogatory items on your credit report. So here are the hacks I want you to pay attention to. First of all, you want to automatically dispute negative information. Anything negative, okay? Anything negative on your TransUnion, Equifax, or Experian credit reports, you just want to really dispute it automatically. Why? Because those items have the potential to actually decrease your credit score. Okay, so that's important to really dispute negative information right away. And what you want to do here is that you want to really understand what the issuer of the report is in the first place. Because for you to really dispute negative info, you got to have the source of that info and reach out to that source ASAP and make sure that they actually remove, if the info is wrong, they have to remove it. Okay, and so the issuer can be a landlord, can be a credit card issuer, it can be a lender, it can be an insurance company. Okay, so if you dispute your score, the Fair Credit Reporting Act requires the credit bureau to indicate the dispute on the credit report. So you may see the code XB, X as in X and B as in Bob, okay? You will see that code on your credit report the month after filing your dispute. So that's why you want to dispute the negative info automatically. And these accounts actually get treated differently because they are under investigation. In other words, they're not going to really contribute to lowering your credit score that fast, okay? So if you need a fast and legitimate way to boost your credit score, disputing negative info is actually the way to go, okay? So disputed accounts are pretty much suppressed from your credit history for about 30 to 45 days while the Bureau investigates the disputed item. And the disputed accounts will not be included in your FICO or Vantage score. So that's pretty good. The second thing you want to do here is that you want to pay your bill before it's due. And if you really want to if you want to really grow your credit score real fast, pay your bill before it's due. Don't wait for the 28th or the 30th of the month to actually pay the bill. If you have the cash, pay the bill on the 15th, pay the bill on the 20th, pay the bill on the 10th, okay? That will give you a lot of, it will give you a leg up because your credit score is calculated based on the average of the balance over the last 30 days. So if the average of the balance is lower than usual, your FICO score will go up big time. So if you want to really be very clear in terms of dispute collections, just make sure that you are really also thinking about your CUR. You want to think about your credit utilization ratio. What I mean by that is you want to limit your credit card use, okay? So if you want to build credit but also increase your credit score, limit your credit card use. The question is, do you have to buy the thing that you want to buy this month, or can you wait for 2 months or 3 months? Sometimes we want to buy stuff, right away. But hey, listen, maybe if you just wait a couple of months, you'll be better off. And maybe even the desire to buy that stuff in the first place would vanish. Okay, so during the holidays, I see this all the time. During the holidays, we are bombarded by ads telling us you have to buy this, to 50% off, 35% off, whatever. Okay, and so we are just like stimulated to actually spend, right? But hey, this actually increases our usage, and if you have an increased credit usage, your FICO score is going to go down. So please refrain from using your credit card all the time. Sometimes you can just delay the purchases. I mean, I call it delayed gratification. If you feel like you have to pamper yourself, you have to really you have to have access to this gratification right away. That's not going to help you big time. Okay, think about delaying the gratification maybe for one month, 2 months, 6 weeks, whatever. Okay. You also want to pay off your credit cards. I mean, credit cards, but also the revolving line of credit, the revolving credit in general. Okay, it's one of those things where if you are trying to really if you're trying to really increase your credit score and you're trying to really have a great dispute collection hack, remember that about 30% of your credit score is based on the amount of credit card that you have. The debts from the credit card is going to play an important role. I mean, 30%. Think about it. That's about one third. That's about one third of your FICO score coming from your credit card debt. So if you are able somehow to take control over that credit card debt, think about the impact, the huge impact it could have actually on your credit score, on your Vantage score, but also on your FICO score. So that's really, really fantastic. You have strong potential there. If you're trying to really fight the collection dispute sort of battle, I want you to try the piggybacking method. Okay, now the piggybacking method is actually something that has been around for a while, but it has gained popularity in the 60s, 70s, and early 80s. Okay, so piggybacking is a credit score hack most often used with romantic couples or in families where one person takes advantage of the other person's excellent credit history. Okay, so this is one of those things where if you are with your wife or husband and you want to piggyback on one another credit score, that's a good strategy. So it's actually common for the person with good credit to allow the person with poor credit to become an authorized user on their credit card, or actually to co-sign a loan, for instance. Okay. Now, some parents also allow their college-age kids to do this. For example, if you are a parent, you can add your child as an authorized user to your credit account that has existed for 15 years. If you do that, what will happen here is that your child will probably get a score of 700 or higher within the first few months of having a credit card. So that's pretty good because it really you just are giving a strong foundation for your child, or you're giving a strong foundation for your husband or your wife or your mother or your father. It really depends on your uncle, your niece. Okay. You also want to try the rapid risk scoring hack to really help you out. And this is really very, very popular also among the younger generation. So this rapid risk scoring hack is only available to you if you are in the market for a mortgage. But it's a great way to try to get erroneous, negative, or old data removed from your credit report. And because the whole thing here is that you want to really increase your credit score fast, right? The goal here is to get the negative stuff taken off your report, or to get current and beneficial data added to your credit reports. Okay. Now, first thing you have to do here is that you need to apply for a mortgage from a lender of your choosing. And during this application process, you gain the right to have any mistakes or inaccurate info showing on your credit reports cleared up as soon as possible. And your mortgage lender will reach out to the credit bureaus on your behalf and supply them with documentation that shows that your credit report should be updated immediately. And your lender will ask the credit bureaus to refresh your credit report to show the most recent data available to your accounts. You will also receive a newly updated credit report. And the good thing is, typically, a higher credit score. So this hack often works in 48 hours. However, a lender is the only one that can initiate the process. Another important element to think about if you are trying to sort of hack the whole dispute collection process is to really think about alternative info to add to your credit file. So usually when you think about your credit report, you think about your credit card, right? Credit card data, your loan data, your line of credit data. But what about alternative data? What about rental information, for instance? Rental. Yeah, because chances are, if you don't own a house, you're probably renting, okay? Which means every single month you are paying rent. Every single month you are a responsible tenant. You are really paying your rent by the first of the month or whatever, okay? So you better get credit for that positive habit, because it is not easy to be a disciplined tenant. So you might as well just get the benefit of the doubt, or the credit, if you will. So what happens here is that if you have had your rental payment history added to your credit reports, you are going to see a big boost, okay, in your credit score, maybe 50 points or 75 points. And so this non-traditional payment data can boost your score up to 50 or 75 points, assuming that you have been paying your rent on time. Okay, it's one of the I have a lot of videos that really talk about those services that really will help you increase your credit score by adding rent information to your credit report. And so after using this hack, you will see your score jump in about a month or less from the day your rental payment data hits your credit file. So this is one of those things where you want to really you want to be prepared. You want to be prepared. Make sure again that you have a positive history of rent payments. And to use this hack, your landlord has to verify your on-time rent payments, and a third party like rentreporter.com or renttrack.com must then supply that verified info to the credit bureaus. So the credit bureaus are not going to get info from you only. Like if you say, listen, I've been a good tenant, I've been paying my rent every single month for the last 10 years, they're not going to believe you. They want to get the info from your landlord or from a certified third party. In other words, a third party they work with to actually believe you and put that info on your credit report. So one thing you want to try this year, if you are trying to sort of increase your credit score real fast, and you want to really dispute collections, you want to swap bad debt for good debt. See, the whole thing is that a lot of us, we have bad debt on our credit files, right? We have credit card debt, we have loans for travel, loans for wedding, whatever. That's not really the kind of good debt you want to have. It's not bad debt per se, but hey, listen, you have bad debt and good debt. Bad debt is debt that really increases your assets. In other words, you borrow to actually buy an asset, a revenue generating asset. So a mortgage, for instance, is good debt because you're buying a house with a mortgage, and if the property appreciates, then you are really you'll be profitable in the end anyway. Okay, so bad debt is credit card debt, and sometimes referred to as revolving debt. So this is the kind of debt that you get to take care of everyday business. Okay, so this debt weighs your credit score down, and if you can eliminate it, your score will likely go up big time. So if you do not have enough cash to pay off your card, you can still raise your credit score through other means. It's all about timing, though. It's all about the kind of tools you have, but also timing. All you need to do here is to exchange your bad debt for a good installment debt. An installment debt is considered less risky to the credit scoring world, and will be more beneficial to your overall credit score. So, for example, you can get a personal loan or peer-to-peer loan to pay off your credit card bill. So if you can do that, what will happen here is that your bad debt will go away and your good debt will actually take its place, okay? And your card will be paid off, and you will instead be making payments to a third party that doesn't impact your credit score so heavily. So in about 30 to 90 days after swapping your credit card debt for installment loan, you should really see a jump in your credit score, okay? And it's not automatic, but the potential is there. Now, by how many points? Probably 20 to 50 points. But hey, it's still something, because if you were in the bad credit category, having 50 point boost is really it's really good. It's really encouraging. So I just gave you a dispute collections hack, and I want to give you a quick overview in terms of credit score, but also how credit scores really impact your ability to borrow. See, the whole thing is that you could borrow $100,000 tomorrow. You can get it real fast, okay? But the info you have in your credit report, that info is going to really linger on for a couple of years if you don't remove it, if you don't correct it too. And if you think about it, everything we do in this country is really based on credit, okay? Even if you don't use credit, your credit score is going to matter. For instance, when you go to get a loan, when you go to get an apartment, for instance, your landlord is going to check your credit. Sorry about that. So your landlord is going to check your credit, okay? So this is something that's really important in terms of making sure you have good credit, or at least decent credit. Same thing if you are trying to get an insurance policy, for instance, the insurer is going to check your credit just to make sure that you have a positive history of responsible payment and payment behavior. Okay, so a credit score becomes quite essential to all that we do. So it's one of those things where you have to understand that, and especially during COVID. Can you imagine a couple of years ago we were all stranded at home, and people had to really borrow to actually survive. And that was when credit scores became even more important because all of a sudden we couldn't work, and the subsidies that the government was actually handing out, those subsidies were not enough for families across the country to actually take care of business, put food on the table for families, and all that kind of stuff for the children. Okay, so in that environment, what happens here is that your credit score is a very dynamic metric, but but it keeps changing because a lot of folks think about the FICO score, but you also have the Vantage score. Okay, the FICO score and Vantage score. The whole idea here is to be minimum fair credit, to have minimum fair credit, so that something were to happen, you are able to really increase your credit score real fast and access longer, like better, bigger lines of credit to be able to take care of whatever you have to take care of this year. So that's important. So one thing I want to say here is that when it comes to dispute collections task, remember that if you want to dispute collections, if you want to really, let's say, increase your credit history, if you want to remove derogatory items, you have to understand the severity of the derogatory item. In other words, can you DIY it? Can you do it yourself, or do you need to hire somebody to take care of it for you? Because if you were to actually hire a credit repair agency, they're going to charge you. The question is it worth it for you? Do you have the budget for it? And is the underlying debt worth it when it comes to collections? Okay, if you have to remove collections from your credit report, you have to ask yourself what's really happening. So you always have to ask yourself whether you should do it or have somebody else do it. Okay, either way, it has to be done. So that's important. And one thing I want to say also is that you have to always remember that your payment history, when it comes to a credit score, is 35%. This accounts for 35%. So don't let anybody tell you, hey, listen, just by doing dispute collections, your credit score is going to go up. No, but if your payment history sucks, if your payment history is not really where it should be, you are going to have a low credit score no matter what. Okay, so your payment history, 35%, your credit utilization, 30%. Those two, you want to take care of them real fast. You want to take care of them on a constant basis. Of course, you still have to do collections. You have to dispute collections whenever there is an opportunity to dispute something. But you got to really take care of those two items that really make up, if you think about it, two thirds of your FICO score. 35% plus 30%, that's 65%, which is pretty close to what the 66.66%, the two-thirds, okay? So that's important. And of course, after that, you have the length of your credit history, which accounts for 10%, your credit mix, which accounts for 15%, okay? Your credit mix, 10%, and your recent credit inquiries, 10%. So the bottom line here is what? Bottom line is you have to do this on a consistent basis. You can't just do it once in a while and hope that your credit score will go up. Even if you're disputing collections, after the collections have been fixed, have been corrected, the derogatory item has been corrected, you still need to follow up to make sure that they are not just having more mistakes. So the bottom line into this conversation, I spoke to you about some dispute collections, the hacks. I spoke about the hacks and now the overview. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.